Namaste. Welcome to day 12. Yesterday, we explored the elements that compose our core complex, learning that this complex includes the 3 lower chakras. Now, the suggested energetic location of the Manipura Chakra is around the navel in the area of the solar plexus. And while this lustrous gem is a source of personal power and manages our self-esteem, it also controls metabolism and digestion, as it governs the digestive organs and adrenal glands. The Manipura Chakra is the home of Agni, the gastric fire, responsible for digestion, absorption, assimilation, and conversion of food into energy and information acquired through sensory input into meaningful product for the body and mind. If you refer to the first mantra on the playlist I sent for this segment, it's called invocation, you will discover a new term, tejas. So, Agni is the sacred metabolic fire that provides energy to the body and mind, while tejas represents the essence of this fire that transforms matter into energy and consciousness. Transformation then happens when we go through the heat of practice and become the light of the fire. We need to develop contact with the authentic, the divine self through the body and through its feelings and aspirations in order to raise self-esteem and attack the demon of this chakra, shame. Then, as we meet life's challenges and engage in stimulating activities, we create a sense of power that leads us to transformation. There is an infinite wealth buried in the body. It is known as Kaya Sampat. Patanjali describes it in the 3rd book of the Yoga Sutras and explains that there are 4 major categories of this infinite wealth. Rupa, beauty. Lavanya, which literally means essence of salt, referring to the quality of tastefulness or charm. Bala, vigor, vitality. And Vajra, samanha nanata, inner healing power. Now, even though we are born with this infinite wealth of beauty, charm, vitality, and healing power, we suffer from self-denigration, loneliness, physical and mental depletion, and fear of disease and death. We have become disconnected from the body's intrinsic intelligence. The practice of asanas restores the natural connection with our body and reestablish balance and harmony. So you can see I've been pampering my core ball today. Yesterday we dealt with the very logistics of the core complex. Today we're going to get to the energetic channel of the core that begins at the arches of the feet, right? The soles of the feet. Rise through the inner thigh and inner leg, plugging into the pelvic floor. Now we know the pelvic floor is the base of the core. So this energetic channel needs to be awakened in order for us to get to the core. We're going to place the core ball in between the thighs, root through the four corners of both feet, and arrive at the seat with both sitting bones close to the edge of the chair, evenly grounded. Now, we're not squeezing the ball yet. We're just placing it in between the thighs so we don't lose them. We don't lose it. And we can arrive at the seat comfortably. Close your eyes to connect your feet to the earth, your sitting bone to the chair, your mind to the present moment. Then invite the mind to join the breath. We also learned the logistics of the diaphragms, both pelvic diaphragm and respiratory diaphragm. We learned that as we exhale, they both move towards the heart. So as we exhale, that energy is moving down with the Langana quality of the breath, but yet diaphragms are moving up towards the heart to maintain the length and support of the core. Let's begin to focus on the exhalation. And as we exhale, we squeeze the ball and let the belly button come towards the spine and loop towards the heart. Then as we inhale, we're going to let go of the ball just enough so that we don't lose it. And as we exhale, we're going to start to squeeze the ball, plug into the pelvic floor. Pelvic floor lifts towards the navel, navel towards the spine, and up towards the heart. As you keep deepening your breath, still focusing on that action at the belly, see if you can squeeze the ball a little further in to a point where your legs begin to shake. That's okay. Today we're going to explore the practice of a pranayama breath, which we'll visit in more depth and more details in our next segment. This pranayama is known as Bhastrika pranayama. So as we inhale, the belly moves out at the same rate as we exhale and the belly moves in. But instead of just softly inhaling and exhale, exhaling, we're actually going to do it a little bit more intentional. So it's going to look something like. Now, as you exhale, you're looking for that loop, for the lift of the navel to the spine and up towards the heart. So close your eyes. Let the ball be where it is. We're going to do one round of 27 breaths. So empty the next breath and begin. Empty the 27th breath. Then take 3 resting breaths. When you prepare for the second round, can you coordinate the exhalation with the squeeze of the thighs into the ball? Something new to train the body, the brain, to comprehend from the body. Empty the next breath. Begin. Three resting breaths. You have a choice to come back to the first round, same way, without adding the squeeze of the ball, or get ready for the third round. Trying again, squeeze the ball as you exhale. Ready? Empty the breath. Then begin. Inhale and exhale. Now, next time you inhale, anchor your feet to the ground. As you exhale, squeeze the ball and come up from seated to a standing position. Didn't we work on this? Yes, we did. Back when we were at the root chakra. Now, I'm going to invite you to pay attention. We're going to do that a few times. If you're bypassing your core, you're going to tend to externally rotate the hips. Your knees are going to try to move out. You might lose your ball. Or you might internally rotate your hips and create this huge arch on the lower back. Can we simply adduct, add the thighs together? So as we inhale, we go down, have a seat. As we exhale, we squeeze the ball and come up to stand. Let's do that again. Inhale to come down. Keep the ball in between the thighs, squeezing it. As you exhale, squeeze a little more and come on up, in towards one another. Inhale to come down. Exhale to go up. Inhale to come down. Exhale to go up. Let's do 3 more. This last one, inhale to go down. Exhale to come up and hold. Anchor the feet to the ground. Let the energy rise from the soles of the feet through the inner thigh, inner leg, inner thigh. Plug into your pelvic floor, sustaining your stance in mountain pose, Tadasana. With the Bastrika combined with this awakening of your central channel of energy, can you feel the power, this radiating energy coming from within? Now remove the ball for a moment, hold on to it, and turn your chair, the back of the chair, towards you. Come to stand facing the back of the chair. Make sure the chair is on the sticky mat. Trust me when I say this. Or at least maybe against the wall so that it doesn't slip away from you. Now, you want to be away from the chair in a position where you can find a downward facing dog touching the back of the chair. So you might need to step back a few steps, then test it out. You're going to place that ball between the thighs one more time. Notice if you are encouraging the adduction or if you're trying to rotate your hips to bypass something here. Feet are anchored, four corners of the feet. Now, as we inhale, we're going to start to come up to the balls of the feet, squeezing the balls, squeezing the thighs toward one another. And as we exhale, we're going to slowly drop the heels down. Inhale, come up. And exhale to lower down. Squeeze the ball. Lower very, very slow as you lower down. Inhale to rise up. Squeeze that ball. Exhale, bring it down. Keep your shoulders soft, your neck long, your face relaxed. Inhale to rise up. Exhale to bring it down. 2 more like this. Inhale to rise up to the balls of the feet. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale to rise up. Exhale, bring it down. The next time you inhale, sweep your arms up, rise to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, bend the knees, bend your elbows out to the side. On the balls of your feet, keep squeezing the ball and sit back into somewhat of a chair pose. Notice there is a chair there. You can always touch your fingertips if you need balance, but sustain this from the core. Squeeze the ball, empty the breath. Next time you inhale, reach the belly towards the ball, the hands towards the chair. Then exhale, bring the heels down, go back into a downward facing dog at the chair. You're still squeezing the ball. Now, as you inhale, you're going to start to move towards the chair. Press the hands on top of the chair and create a wave of prana. The hips will drop just enough so that you can extend the spine. Squeeze the thighs toward one another. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart, lift the head. And as you exhale, go back into your downward facing dog. Now inhale, rise to the balls of your feet as you bend your knees. Exhale, sit back into your chair pose, just like we started. Then inhale to rise all the way up. You're still on the balls of your feet. Squeeze that ball. Exhale, heels down, arms by your side. Ooh, that was fun. Can we do 3 more like this? Inhale, reach up, rise to the balls of the feet. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Heels are up. Inhale the torso forward, grab a hold of the chair. Exhale, heels down, extend the knees, downward facing dog. Inhale, begin to rise to the heels, to the balls of the feet again. Create this wave of prana. Drop the hips, lift to the heart, lift the head. If you are churning your toes out, that means you're externally rotating your hip, you're bypassing your core, putting a lot of pressure in your lower back. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to the balls of the feet, bend the knees. Exhale, sit back into chair pose, heels are off the ground. Inhale, come all the way up, heels still off the ground. As you exhale, heels down, arms out by the side. It gets easier, doesn't it? No. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, come forward, grab the chair. Exhale, straighten the knees, heels down, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to the balls of the feet. Begin your journey forward. And as you exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to the balls of your feet as you bend your knees. Prepare to exhale into chair pose. Inhale to reach all the way up. Exhale, heels down, palms out by the side. Let's do one more time. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sit. Inhale, forward, grab the chair. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale to come forward. One long inhalation brings you slowly forward. Exhale back to down dog. Inhale, bend the knee, rise to the balls of your feet. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Inhale to come all the way to the top. Exhale, arms down, heels down. I got a challenge for you. You could keep the ball there, or let the imprint of the ball in your inner thighs, inner hamstrings, inner legs register in the body. Place the ball off to the side or not. Come back to the same position. Feet now closer together. Next time you inhale, rise to the balls of your feet, reach long. Exhale, sit back. Utkatasana, different. Your knees might still try to move out. Can you squeeze your thighs together like an imaginary ball is still there? Then inhale forward, grab the chair. Exhale, downward facing dog. Watch your toes. Inhale to come forward. Create that wave of prana through to an upward facing dog. And exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to the balls of your feet, bend your knees. Exhale, sit back, Utkatasana. Last one, chair pose. Root through both feet, come all the way to the top. Exhale, heels down, arms by your side. Just pause here for a moment. You are a core-nected. The entire line, the entire complex, everything is available. Now, next time you inhale, rise to the balls of your feet, reach up. Ball is now no longer part of the game. You have an imprint of energy there. Can you sit back into chair pose? With a smile on your face, you're getting stronger by the second. Inhale, come forward, grab the chair. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right. In this downward dog, if it's bothering your shoulders, you can step forward a bit so that there is not too much of a flexion of your shoulder. You can bend your elbows if you need to. Shift the weight to your right foot and bring your left leg straight up and back behind you. Now, if you are not in touch with that core, the tendency is to rotate your right hip open, just like you would when the ball wasn't in between your thighs for the work we did. With this imprint of energy, can you turn the left toes down, maintaining the pelvis aligned with the floor, moving the inner thighs and the inner hamstrings towards the ceiling? If you feel stable here, is it possible to take your arm forward? Take 2 more breaths here. Then bring the right hand to the chair. Begin to rotate your right hip open, coming around for a modified half moon pose. You're giving that right inner thigh a break. Can you maintain some length to that right side of your torso as well, instead of collapsing? Stay here for 2 more breaths. 4 corners of your right foot are anchored. Remember to lift that right kneecap to move energy up from the root, sustaining the thigh, sustaining the entire trunk. Now, bring it back to center. Step the left foot to meet the right. Inhale halfway up like a down dog, and as you exhale, bend your left knee and fold over the legs. You could maintain your hands to the chair or bring the hands down to the floor. Let's give that right outer hip a break. Beautiful. Next time you inhale, straighten both knees. Bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze your thighs toward one another. And come all the way up with a nice long torso. We're going to explore this area of the core tomorrow. But for today, just awakening it. Pause there for a moment. I'm going to change my orientation with the mat so I can still face you. So, feet are closer together. Next time you inhale, sweep the arms up, rise to the balls of your feet. As you exhale, sit back into that chair pose. Inhale halfway forward, grab the chair. Exhale, downward facing dog. Remember, you can keep your elbows bent here. Shift the weight to the left foot. Bring your right leg up and back behind you. Notice if there's any rotation of that left hip. I'm not looking for range. If this is where your right leg is, this is where it is. But refrain from rotating in order to bring it up higher. We're going to do that later. So toes are facing down. Four corners of the left foot are anchored. Move the inner right thigh and the inner right hamstrings towards the ceiling. Two more breaths. Beautiful. Next time you exhale, begin to rotate your left hip open, giving the left inner thigh a break. Can you peek over that right shoulder? It's a modified half moon. Maintain that left side of the torso somewhat long. Peekaboo. One more breath here. Inhale, bring the hip back to center. Legs floating up. As you exhale, both feet are down. Inhale to elongate both sides of the torso. Bend your right knee. And exhale to fold over the legs. Remember, you can keep the hands on the chair, or you can bring the hands down to the floor for this asymmetrical forward bend. Next time you inhale, come halfway up, extend both knees. Press through the four corners of both feet. Hands to the hips, elongate the spine. And exhale to come all the way to the top. Arrive in your Tadasana, mountain pose. And notice the sensations in the body. Notice the sensations in the mind. Beautiful. Take that chair off to the side. Keep your roller nearby. As you come down to a seated position, bring the soles of your feet together. Now, if your knees are all the way up here, gonna fold that blanket to lift your seat. Sit up on the blanket, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Slide the hands to your ankles. Nice deep breath here. Elongate the spine. As you exhale, hinge over the legs towards your feet. Every time you inhale is an opportunity to revisit the length of your spine so you're not collapsing at the heart. And every time you exhale is an opportunity to let go. Knees move out to the side. Lower back smiles. Take one more breath here. Then inhale to rise up. We're going to start a little myofascial release on the right ankle. So, take your left thumb and find your medial malleoli. Gonna apply pressure right towards the back of the ankle, past your medial malleoli. Start there. Interesting sensations, eh? Now here you have your tibia, your shin bone. You're gonna slide the thumb towards the tibia and you begin to move one itty bitty at a time. I like to do this with oil or lotion. So if your thumb is sliding on the skin, begin to slide the thumb all the way up along the tibia. So right underneath, you're not on the bone, you're right in the meaty part that goes under the bone. So you're gonna slide it all the way towards your inner knee, up and down. If it feels odd to be in a twist, you can also try to do that with the same hand. Right thumb goes all the way down and all the way up, whatever suits you. Let's do that about 3 more times up and down. Really find that groove under your tibia as you slide down. If you see, I took both my thumbs now for, I guess, some torture time. Your deep core line is like the peanut butter and jelly of a sandwich. Front of the body is one side of the bread. Back of the body is the other side of the bread. Your deep core line is your peanut butter and jelly. Now, once you're happy here, you're gonna take that bolster. Stay sort of in the same orientation. Just gonna turn the inner knee towards the bolster. And then you're gonna slide from the inner knee to the middle of the inner thigh, back and forth. Now, can you stop in the middle of the thigh? Move the bolster up towards your groin a bit more, and then move from one point to another. If this is not doing much for you, you can always lift yourself up a little more so you can slide back and forth. Do 2 or 3 more times up and down. And then turn around. Return to your Baddha Konasana. Knees apart, soles of the feet together. Take it over to your left leg. So begin touching the back of your medial malleoli. So take your thumb there and begin to sense for any trigger point. Don't think that I'm all happy and comfortable here. I have my own trigger points to share with you. Now, you continue on. So you start to climb that groove right underneath the tibia. If it's available to slide, just slide it all the way to the inner knee, back and forth. I have gotten to a point that I discovered so many trigger points in that area that sometimes with the pants, with my yoga pants or any pant that's soft, I use the pant as the leverage, as the oil to slide the thumb back and forth. Remember that you can also use the same hand. Going down and back up. And you can also walk the thumbs through the groove, up and down. You know the rule of thumb, no pun intended, that if you find a trigger point, you want to breathe into it. You want to pause, hold, breathe. When you're done with your leg, take the roller and place it in the inner knee. Gonna roll from the inner knee to the middle of the thigh, back and forth. It does help when you have a sliding surface rather than a sticky mat to roll, so that the foot can slide back and forth. Do it a few times. Then move it up towards the groin a bit more and move from the groin towards the middle of the thigh, back and forth. Now, Paula, how do I adjust if my shoulder and my wrist is not cooperating here? You could turn your thigh this way, and with your own hand, just like we use the thumb, you can roll back and forth. Why did I wait until the end? A lot of times we just assume that it's not going to work, and then we bypass any orientation, any suggestion, and go directly for the modification. Now, you need a modification? Use your own body with gravity to roll the roller back and forth on both sides. When you're done, Gonna place that roller off to the side. Bring the bolster to your mat. The blanket behind your head. The same pose you had sitting down. Baddha Konasana, knees out, feet, soles of the feet together. You're going to take that same position, but in supine. The blanket is under the head. Lift your pelvis just to move the flesh of your gluteus away from the lower back. And arrange yourself to receive this restorative moment. If at some point you're done with Supta Baddha Konasana, creating this diamond shape with your legs, you can just turn your knees in and surrender to the gift of Shavasana. You know the drill here. To scan through the body, looking for any point you might find tension. Let that beautiful energy of your Manipura Chakra radiate within and without, manifesting as light into the world. And as you allow yourself to receive the gift of Shavasana, I will share with you the invocation I mentioned at the beginning of our Dharma talk. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher, that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Murtaye Nishprapranchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. I bow in honor and respect of the light within me to share the light and respect the light within you. Namaste.